One of the key people that the HR needs to succeed in the organization is the CEO, or if you're not reporting to the CEO, the director. When you have the CEO or director's support, then it's very easy for you to implement change that will benefit the organization and employees alike. And yet, when I talk to many of the HR managers during my day-to-day interaction, they express frustration because of the relationship they have with the decision makers. They feel that the relationship could be much better. And so in today's video, we are going to look at how can you as a HR professional earn the trust of the CEO, of the director, or an equivalent decision maker. Why? Because when you have their trust, when you have their confidence, then it will be very easy for you really to be able to be an effective HR practitioner. If you don't have it, and I've seen this happen, I've seen a very competent HR manager being hired by an organization, and yet come at the end of the 3 months, they are not confirmed in the job. And you find the reason is, most of the reason is because of the relationship they had with the decision maker. So it's absolutely important for you, whether you've just recently joined an organization or it's an organization you've been for many years, it's important for you to establish a very good relationship with the decision maker. So how can you go about having this good relationship that I'm talking about? So today I'll share with you 5 pointers that you can apply, and I've seen this work with many HR professionals, so they are time tested, so to speak. And my first advice to you is that you should be able to understand the CEO needs and then see how HR can be able to meet those needs. Sometimes as HR professionals, we go to that office, to the CEO office or to the director's office with initiatives that really don't align to the needs and the wishes of the CEO. And how do you get to know the needs and the wishes of the CEO? Listen to their small talks, get to understand. If the CEO is asking you, how are we doing in marketing, or how are we doing with the new staff, or how come people are coming to work late, or are people engaged, or how is the performance of the team? Those are the things that you should be able to pay attention to. Unfortunately, what I see with many professionals is that they think just doing a good job in HR will make them be in the good books with the CEO. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Yes, you can do a good job when it comes to the HR responsibilities, but the question to ask yourself is, if you are suggesting training, if you are suggesting performance management, ask yourself, what does the CEO think? Is that the priority of the CEO? For example, during this COVID season, a lot of businesses are struggling in terms of finances, in terms of the marketplace, in terms of getting new clients. So that is where you should focus on. So don't just come up with HR initiatives that satisfy the HR department. You should always ask yourself, what is the priority of my decision maker, and be able to ensure that you match the two. My second advice to you is that you should be able to embrace data. If you're watching this video and you are an accomplished HR professional, I'm sure you've heard of the term HR analytics. So one of the reasons why the finance department, is much appreciated than the HR is because they use data. So today my challenge to you is, for any initiative that you are recommending to the decision maker, make sure it's backed up by data. And what I mean is, if you are coming to propose a training, be able to show the return on investment. What are we getting from this training? If you're asking for approval so that you can increase the staff count in your department, again, use data, and data is readily available. If it's the issue of salary, you can go to job sites, you can come to Corporate Staffing Services where we publish salaries. And so you can be able to say, oh, Mr. So-and-so, I've noticed that we are having a higher turnover. And the reason why we are having a higher turnover is, as we don't have medical cover, the kind of salary we pay is below the market rate, because this is what other companies, comparable companies, are paying. So if you're not yet exposed to HR analytics, that's an area I would really urge you to research on and be able to start applying data when it comes to decision making and even the proposals that you're forwarding to the directors. For you to earn the trust of the CEO, you also have to drive change in the organization. Now, this may not be in your JD, it may not be in your job description, but one role, an important role of HR is to ensure that you are driving change. You can't find an organization where it is, and then 2-3 years, when you are the HR manager, you are the HR head, it's still the same way. So look around, look at the organization that you have. What changes can you be able to implement for the betterment of the organization and even the employee? Is it an issue of culture? Is it an issue of performance? Is it an issue of remuneration? Is it an issue of how to retain your staff? So when the decision makers start seeing that you're able to implement change, that you are someone who comes, they are not just comfortable with the way things are, you introduce change, then they'll be able to see that, wow, you're a person who can be trusted, and you're a person that they'll be looking to keep. So always look at how you can be able to drive change. My fourth point to you is always be proactive. Always be proactive. And the reason is because when it comes to the HR professionals, we are the go-between the employers, that is the management or the leadership, and the workers, the employees. So by being proactive, I don't mean that you always looking at the issues, of the company and making sure the employees are adhering to that. No, it's look at how can you bring the two parties together and what initiatives can you be able to bring on board that you'll be able to help the two. So proactivity here, if your company has never done training, come up with mandatory trainings, trainings that either they touch on the technical skills or on the soft skills. And that way you kill two birds with one stone. The employees will appreciate, and also the decision makers, you see that you're a person of new ideas. So again, this is closely related to point number 3, where I talked about you driving change. So being proactive is don't just wait to be told to do things. There's nothing CEOs and directors hate as always asking someone, have you done ABCD or can you do this? They expect you to be knocking at their door with proposals on what can be done to better either the employees or the organization. And lastly, and this touches on you at a personal level, is to embrace continuous learning. Ask yourself, we are in the 10th month of 2021. Have you learned something new this year? Have you attended a course, an online course? What have you learned in HR that's new? How have you developed at a personal level? Because if you are not continuously learning, then what value can you be able to offer? And more so for those of us who have not been able to change jobs. If you've been doing the same thing for the last 5 years, without you learning something new, then you cannot be able to offer ideas. So you'll be going to that board meeting, you'll be going to that management meeting, and because your head doesn't have anything new, you'll not be able to participate. So again, it's a challenge to you. Look at reading books, look at watching videos like this one, subscribe to this channel, and that's one way you'll be able to learn. And don't also just confine yourself to the HR world. So be interested with other things. Look at the soft skills, learn about emotional intelligence, learn about leadership, learn about change management, learn about conflict resolution. So the more you learn, the better you will be when it comes to participating in decision making or thinking of new innovative ways to add value, to your organization and even to your career. So with those few pointers, I'm sure if you start implementing them, then you'll not have a very hard time earning the CEO trust. And remember, the CEO is an integral part of your career. He's a key stakeholder in your career. So if you are looking to get to the next level of your career, if you are looking to having an easier time in that organization, then it's very important for you to win the trust of the decision makers. So thank you for watching this video. I look forward to empowering you with even more videos. So subscribe so that you don't miss out our weekly videos, and look forward to seeing you next time.